What's up, YouTube? My name is Uncle Smokey, and this is Uncle Smokey Stock Trades. And before I start this video, I would like to say, I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. So please take what I say with a grain of salt, and do your own DD.
Thank you, Chairman Brown, Ranking Member Toomey, and other members of the committee for the opportunity to testify today. The economy has continued to strengthen. The rise in Delta variant cases temporarily slowed progress this past summer, restraining previously rapid growth in household and business spending, intensifying supply chain disruptions, and in some cases, keeping people from returning to work or looking for a job. Fiscal and monetary policy and the healthy financial positions of households and businesses continue to support aggregate demand. Recent data suggests that the post-September decline in cases corresponded to a pickup in economic growth, and GDP appears on track to grow about 5% in 2021, the fastest pace in many years. As with overall economic activity, conditions in the labor market have continued to improve. The Delta variant contributed to slower job growth this summer as factors related to the pandemic, such as caregiving needs and fears of the virus, kept some people out of the labor force despite strong demand for workers. Nonetheless, October saw job growth of 531,000 and the unemployment rate fell to 4.6%, indicating a rebound in the pace of labor market improvement. There is still ground to cover to reach maximum employment for both employment and labor force participation, and we expect progress to continue. The economic downturn has not fallen equally, and those least able to shoulder the burden have been the hardest hit. In particular, despite progress, joblessness continues to fall disproportionately on African Americans and Hispanics. Pandemic-related supply and demand imbalances have contributed to notable price increases in some areas. Supply chain problems have made it difficult for producers to meet strong demand, particularly for goods. Increases in energy prices and rents are also pushing inflation upward. As a result, overall inflation is running well above our 2% longer run goal, with the PCE price index up 5% over the 12 months ending in October. Most forecasters, including at the Fed, continue to expect that inflation will move down significantly over the next year as supply and demand imbalances abate. It is difficult to predict the persistence and effects of supply constraints, but it now appears that factors pushing inflation upward will linger well into next year. In addition, with the rapid improvement in the labor market, slack is diminishing and wages are rising at a brisk pace. We understand that high inflation imposes significant burdens, especially on those less able to meet the higher costs of essentials like food, housing, and transportation. We are committed to our price stability goal. We will use our tools both to support the economy and a strong labor market and to prevent higher inflation from becoming entrenched. The recent rise in COVID-19 cases and the emergence of the Omicron variant pose downside risks to the employment and economic activity and increased uncertainty for inflation. Greater concerns about the virus could reduce people's willingness to work in person, which would slow progress in the labor market and intensify supply chain disruptions. To conclude, we understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country. Everything we do is in service to our public mission. At the Fed, we'll do everything we can to support a full recovery in employment and achieve our price stability goal. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What's going on, guys? So today we had a terrible day. Absolutely terrible, and I understand. And unfortunately, it was on the backs of not only the new variant, but you also had the Fed talk today, and it absolutely wrecked the entire market. The overall market was absolutely blood freaking red. In fact, take a look. Boom. There you go. That's the entire map. You only see a couple of green things, and Pfizer's one of them. The rest of it's mainly biotech, and then you got Tesla barely green, and Apple. Of course, Apple's almost always green. So the overall market was absolutely red, and if you go ahead and look right here at all of my charts, Let's see here. We got the indices showing they all dropped just about the same exact time, right there when Jerome Powell started talking. And you've got the VIX that is way up. You're talking up about 18.5% on the day. Also, if you take a look here, I've got 9 different stocks, all different stocks. You got Ford, Baba, Root, IOSP, Honeywell, TJX, which is clothing. Honeywell, they do generators and stuff. AMC, GME, Prog. I've got some meme stocks. I've got some auto stocks. I've got some retail investment stocks. I've got all kinds of stuff up here on my screen. And what you need to look at is look at what they've all been doing over the last several days, especially since this new variant has popped up. Everything's taken a downward turn. Now, not all of them have been doing that since then. Some of the stuff has just, had downward pullbacks, but it's continued to do that on no real bad news. Generally, when something makes a pullback, it'll level out and then maybe even make a reverse. You're just seeing downward pressure in everything, in absolutely everything. Now, am I saying the market is about to crash? No, absolutely not. The market makes special corrections every couple of months. In fact, if you look, let's see if I can pull this up really quick. Let's go to the 1 hour. If you look here on the, now let's go to the daily. Every so often, look at that. Up, pullback, up, pullback, up, pullback, up, pullback, up, big pullback, up. We're seeing a pullback. So you're going to see that on a regular basis, especially when you've had a bull market that has been going crazy up all the time. That's the SPY. Let's look at the NASDAQ. Same thing. Up, pullback, up, pullback, up, pullback, up, pullback, up, little pullback. Guess what? It's probably going to go up again. In fact, I'd be willing to bet if we were to draw up a trend channel here, you're going to see it's probably bouncing off. Oh, my goodness. Look at that. Tap, down, tap, down. It hasn't quite tapped that yet. It's making a pullback, but I'll be willing to bet we're going to see another reversal going up, tap, and then it'll probably come back down. So it happens. Just, it does, guys. Let's go back over to the 1 minute chart. There was definitely some shorting happening. There was probably some sell-offs happening. There was definitely more than likely some stop losses triggered. Most definitely. I mean, we came all the way down to $3.49 today. I don't think anybody's seen that happening, but then again, I don't think anybody's seen Jerome Powell coming out saying, hey, it's going to be transitory. And if you did, if it would have happened 2 weeks ago, nobody would have cared. This would have been completely out of the works. Then the variant could have come in. And again, the market would have made a minor correction and then it would have went on with its day. But unfortunately, you've got the variant, you've got the Fed talk, and now you're going to have this employment talk on Friday, which is more conversations. You got the president talking on a daily basis. It's hard for the stock market to recover and go green again. Granted, it's not the overall. It's just these last couple of weeks, and you've got so much bad crap happening in the overall world. So just keep that in mind. Now is not the time to be selling things. I mean, if you've got stocks that you're convicted in and you're holding on to these things and you're starting to see these sell-offs or corrections is what I'm going to call them for now. If you're starting to see that kind of stuff, I wouldn't go getting all paper handy because now's the time to load up. You're getting things on a discount. We are still in a bull run. We have not broke a channel yet. We've been holding into this very steady. We barely came down and brought it back out. I mean, I'm not worried in the least. We do this all the time. You can see it. This happens on a regular basis. If you were to pull this back even more, look at that. This is COVID. That's COVID. Right there. And then it just went on. We were on a freaking bull run before that. I mean, seriously, guys, I'm not too concerned on the overall price action of the overall market, let alone Meta. We have a diamond on our hands. We have a unicorn. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to own this wonderful, wonderful stock. Now, the other thing I want to show you, the last time that we were tapped $3.50 was right here. I'm sorry, $3.45 was right here. And that's just about where we were today. And when we hit that, we freaking ran like crazy. This is a complete 100% gap fill from the initial run-up all the way back in August. On August 27th, we had a major, major run-up all the way up to, let's bring it all the way up there. Right there, $5.80, just about. Yeah, $5.80. And we finally have brought it all the way back down. Now, I'm not saying that's a good thing, not at all. As you can tell, I don't have all my lines up here yet. But what I am saying is we have come back down to a level that we launched at last. And what we're hoping for is for that level to act as support and create that reversal that we're looking for. Now, we have fallen back into our channel, unfortunately. In fact, let's go ahead and extend that out more. There. We're, again, like I said, we're just looking for a bounce. We're looking for a reverse. And that's going to happen, I think, when the overall market happens. I don't think we're going to stay down here for too long. In fact, I would absolutely see us to start climbing back up towards the 4s in the very near future. In fact, I would hope to see it before the end of the week. $4 is a very comfortable level for us. We've been up there many a times. And if we can get back above 4, I would be super extremely comfortable. Now, the last thing I want to talk about before I let you guys go today, and if you haven't noticed, I did not put a prediction out yesterday. I'm not going to put out a prediction today, and I'm probably not going to do one for the rest of the week. We've got a lot of uncertainty in the market right now. It's very hard to read what the stock is going to do, and I get a lot of flack when things don't happen the way they're supposed to happen, when it doesn't respect the support and resistance levels that we've called out, when it just blasts through them. Now, I know that's probably just a bunch of bears screwing with me, but it is what it is. I would rather not get false hopes up. All right, last thing I want to talk about was the Dr. Waldron filing. So I'm still a little bit confused on it. Let me find that real quick. Over here. I'm a little bit confused on this as of right now. And the reason being is because it looks like it's a wash to me. Now, I have not been able to spend a whole lot of time on this because I have been extremely busy today, super busy at the store. And then I had, personal things I had to handle afterwards. So what I'm seeing here is it looks like he exercised contracts at 471,438 shares and then immediately sold the shares. Now, it does say down here that title and amount of securities underlying derivative securities, it's currently 2 million shares. I just don't know. I don't understand. It's not showing a purchase like it did on George's. If we go back and look at George's, it shows in the same columns right here. It shows sale, sale, purchase. I'm not seeing that, and I don't know why. We do know that when George did the 2 sales, it was to pay the taxman, to take care of the Canadian taxes that he had to pay, plus the American taxes and all that stuff. So that's why he had to sell these. I'm not seeing a repurchase on Dr. Waldron's. Now, it doesn't mean that he didn't. Maybe they're leaving it for suspense and they did it on another day. Maybe he was waiting for a better buy period. Maybe they saw a pullback coming. I don't know. I really, really don't. And I will update you as soon as I can, as soon as I know more about this. Just a little bit confusing to me, that's all. It's just a little confusing. Again, I just haven't had the time to look into it. All right, so before I forget, let's get into Ortex and Fintel real quick, and then we'll get out of here. So Ortex is showing about a 2% return on the day. That's not that much. The return shares was 1.44 million, but they borrowed back about 750,000 shares almost immediately. The utilization's at 70%. The cost to borrow is at 2.56%, and there is 32.71 million shares on loan, and it would take about 2.38 days to cover those shares. Also, keep this in mind, any of the returning that happened today does not necessarily mean that it was shorted shares. It doesn't mean that the shares that returned were shares that were shorted into the market. They could have just been borrowed shares. We've covered this many times over. If you look at these shares on loan, it's about 10 million higher than the actual exchange reported short interest, and about 12 million higher than the current estimated short interest, which means they have a pool of shares sitting there available for them to either continue to short the market without even borrowing anymore, or return back to the market makers to show, they're returning those shares back. Here you go, and I'll gladly pay your little fee. Okay, and the shares that they could be returning could be the ones that they had borrowed back at, when their fee was at 1% or less. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Yeah, let's move on to Fintel. Oh, hang on. First, let's see if this changed. Average number of days on loan has gone up to 23.79 days. Fintel. All right, Fintel showing us that we are at 77.01 out of 100. And that is 284 out of the 5,500 stocks that is on this list on the short squeeze score. So it's moved up quite a bit. I don't take that into consideration too much because the higher you get up on this list, it seems to me the more manipulated you get. Currently, there's about 1.5 million shares available to be shorted into the market from a leading prime brokerage. And again, that could be because they return shares. Oh, and this is as of 9 hours ago. This is not a live update right here. Who knows how much are actually available there? With how heavy the stock went down today, I'll be willing to bet they pulled a lot of these shares back out. And this might be a quite smaller number. We'll probably know more tomorrow morning. Short borrow fee rate from Fintel is showing 1.69%. And look at that. So our volume today overall was about 13.5 million, which is great. We had an increasing amount of volume today, which is fantastic. And how did that happen? The stock still went down? Well, we had a couple of big pushes, a couple of hours that had heavy volume, buying pressure as a matter of fact. Now, the FINRA did not make up half of the overall volume today, as it usually does. It only made up about a third of it. We'll call it a third of it. And a little over half of that was short volume. Now with the PSX and BX, you're looking at about 60% overall short volume from these exchanges. These exchanges. That does not include the other ones. And I don't know what those are right now. Yeah, with that being said, I think that's all we got. Yeah. We covered the Dr. Waldron stuff, so we don't need to go over any more of that stuff right now. As I find out information on that, I'll update you. I'm just, like I said, a little confused on it. Yeah, so like, subscribe, do what you got to do. Make sure that these videos are getting out to your friends and family. This one's not so hot, so I'm not too upset. Again, sorry for, the crappy video today, guys. Didn't mean for it to be so bad. I like to give you a little bit better TA, but I couldn't do that today just because it is so freaking late, and I got to get up early. I got work. I'm on deliveries tomorrow. So keep that in mind. I'll be doing my delivery schedule tomorrow. I may not get a morning briefing out again tomorrow. It is the holiday season, and I work retail, so that's life. Peace, guys.